the vast waters of the South China Sea, where Beijing's ambitions clash with international law, a new challenger has arrived. The United Kingdom, once the greatest naval power in history, has returned with its modern carrier strike group. What does Britain's bold presence in Asia mean for China, for the Indo-Pacific, and for the world? Stay with us as we uncover the full story of the British carrier that stood up to Beijing. The South China Sea is one of the most strategically vital maritime regions on Earth. Stretching from the southern coast of China down to the shores of Malaysia and the Philippines, and across to Vietnam and Brunei, these waters form a crossroads of global trade and security. Each year, more than $3 trillion worth of trade flows through this maritime highway. Tankers carry oil from the Middle East to fuel the economies of East Asia. Container ships transport manufactured goods from China, Vietnam, and Malaysia to the markets of Europe and North America. Submarine cables run beneath these waters, carrying the digital lifeblood of the global economy. Whoever controls the South China Sea holds influence not only over regional trade, but over the stability of the entire world economy. Yet beyond economics lies geopolitics. The South China Sea is rich in fish stocks, vital for the food security of regional nations. Beneath the seabed, there are vast reserves of oil and natural gas, untapped energy resources that could fuel economic growth for decades. And for China, the South China Sea represents more than resources, it represents sovereignty, history, and strategic depth. Beijing claims nearly the entire South China Sea as its own, demarcated by the so-called Nine-Dash Line. This sweeping claim covers almost 90% of the sea, cutting into the exclusive economic zones of nations like the Philippines, Vietnam, and Malaysia. The claim was rejected by an international tribunal in The Hague in 2016. But China dismissed the ruling, continuing its island-building campaign and militarization of reefs and atolls. Artificial islands like Fiery Cross Reef and Mischief Reef have been transformed into fortified outposts, equipped with runways, radar stations, missile systems, and garrisons of troops. These islands are not just defensive positions. They are power projection platforms, extending China's reach deep into international waters. For decades, the United States has challenged these claims through freedom of navigation operations, FONOPs, sailing its warships through contested waters to demonstrate that they remain open to all. But now, America is no longer alone in pushing back. Enter the Royal Navy. To understand why Britain has sailed a carrier into the South China Sea, we must look back at history. For centuries, the Royal Navy was the most powerful naval force in the world. During the height of the British Empire, its fleets patrolled every ocean, protecting trade routes and projecting power across continents. From the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805 to the two world wars of the 20th century, Britain's navy was both sword and shield of its global influence. But after the Second World War, Britain's power waned. The empire dissolved, colonies gained independence, and the Royal Navy shrank in size. The 20th century saw the rise of the United States as the dominant naval power, while Britain largely focused on regional defense, particularly in the North Atlantic. Yet in recent years, Britain has sought to revive its global maritime presence. With the unveiling of its two new aircraft carriers, HMS Queen Elizabeth and HMS Prince of Wales, London signaled its return to big league naval power projection. These 65,000-ton carriers are the largest warships ever built for the Royal Navy. They carry the cutting-edge F-35B Lightning II stealth fighters, advanced radar systems, and can embark helicopters, drones, and troops for expeditionary missions. The carriers are not alone. They deploy as part of a carrier strike group, a formation of warships designed to protect and enhance their capabilities. Destroyers like the Type 45 Daring class provide air defense. Frigates like the Type 23 Duke class conduct anti-submarine warfare. Support ships ensure logistics and refueling, while submarines lurk unseen, offering silent strike options. The Royal Navy's return to the Indo-Pacific is part of Britain's Global Britain strategy, announced after Brexit. London aims to prove that it remains a major player in international security, even outside the European Union. The Indo-Pacific tilt reflects recognition of Asia's importance to global trade, politics, and security. When Britain sends a carrier strike group into the South China Sea, it is not merely a naval exercise, it is a political statement. The deployment of the Royal Navy's carrier strike group into the South China Sea was a carefully orchestrated demonstration of power, alliance, and resolve. At the heart of the group was HMS Queen Elizabeth, Britain's flagship. On her decks, more than 24 F-35B Lightning II fighters prepared for operations. These stealth aircraft are capable of short takeoff and vertical landing, ideal for carrier operations, and bring a potent mix of strike, reconnaissance, and electronic warfare capabilities. Escorting the carrier were warships of formidable capability. The Type 45 destroyers, such as HMS Defender, provided cutting-edge air and missile defense. With their advanced Samson radar and Sea Viper missile systems, they could track and engage multiple threats simultaneously. The Type 23 frigates specialized in anti-submarine warfare, their towed sonar arrays and Merlin helicopters ready to hunt down enemy subs lurking in the depths. Supporting them were Royal Fleet auxiliary ships, carrying fuel, ammunition, and supplies to keep the group operational for months at a time. Beneath the waves, an astute-class nuclear-powered attack submarine shadowed the fleet, its Tomahawk cruise missiles ready to strike targets hundreds of miles away. The deployment was not just British. In a show of Allied solidarity, the carrier strike group was joined at various points by ships from the United States, the Netherlands, and Japan. American destroyers and Marines, Dutch frigates, and Japanese escorts all took part in exercises, signaling that Britain's mission was part of a larger coalition. The message to Beijing was clear. The world does not accept China's unilateral claims to the South China Sea. The South China Sea is more than just a regional dispute. It is a global test of power, influence, and resolve. Britain's carrier strike group represents more than steel and aircraft. It symbolizes a nation's determination to remain relevant on the world stage. Will this bold move strengthen alliances and deter aggression, or will it spark confrontation with Beijing? One thing is certain, the future of the Indo-Pacific will shape the destiny of the world. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth explorations of global military strategy.